Breaking news! There's been a lot of discussion recently. Was this the right decision for the Browns? We'll discuss that and more in this video. But first, be sure to hit the like button and follow me as I keep you well informed with daily news. The Browns made their first big splash of the 2025 offseason, signing standout defensive tackle Ralph Holley from the CFL's Toronto Argonauts. Holley was one of the most sought-after free agents after dominating the CFL, leading all inside linemen with 8 sacks despite missing some time due to injuries. Holley chose Cleveland over several NFL offers, showing his belief in the Browns' vision for next season. The front office is clearly focused on adding talent after a difficult 2024 season, where the Browns finished with the worst record in the league. But remember, that difficult year earned us the second overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, so there's hope for a serious turnaround. Holley brings an impressive college resume from Western Michigan, where he recorded 45.5 tackles for loss and 20.5 sacks in 50 games. After going undrafted in 2022, he made a name for himself in the CFL and even helped lead the Argonauts to the Grey Cup last season. Joining a defensive tackle group that includes Dalvin Tomlinson, Shelby Harris, recent draft pick Mike Hall Jr. and pending free agent Maurice Hurst, Holley adds much-needed depth and pass-rushing potential. Signing so early also gives him a chance to bond with his teammates and begin preparing for training camp. What do you think, Browns fans? Is Holley the right choice to bolster our defense, or do we need even more firepower this offseason? As we're already looking ahead to what promises to be an exciting offseason for the Cleveland Browns, one area that is undoubtedly going to need attention is the running back position. With the recent news of Deshaun Watson's injury, it's easy to understand why quarterback will be the primary focus. But make no mistake, the Browns have other issues to resolve, and one of the most pressing is finding a reliable and explosive running back to pair with their already talented roster. Nick Chubb has been the backbone of the Browns' rushing attack for years now, but we can't ignore the reality of his injury history. It's clear that, despite his remarkable comeback this season, Chubb may not be the long-term answer at running back for Cleveland. With his future uncertain, the Browns may need to make some moves to bolster their backfield. So, should the Browns take a running back in April's NFL Draft? Or should they pursue a veteran presence through free agency? Well, according to Dawg Pound Daily, free agency might be the way to go. And the player they're eyeing is none other than Buffalo's Ty Johnson. Now, you might be asking, who is Ty Johnson? Well, here's the scoop. The 27-year-old running back was signed to a one-year prove-it deal by the Buffalo Bills and has definitely shown that he can be a valuable asset to any team. In 2024, he didn't get a massive amount of carries, just 213 yards and 1 touchdown, but it's his work in the passing game that caught the eye of many. Johnson caught 18 passes for 284 yards and 3 touchdowns, showing that he can be a versatile weapon in the backfield. Even though he didn't see a ton of action this season, Johnson's performance has been enough to prove that he deserves a shot at a starting role. Whether that's with the Browns or another team, it's clear that he has the potential to make an impact. With Buffalo likely focusing on keeping a big-name player to support Josh Allen, they might not be able to retain Johnson, making him a perfect candidate for Cleveland's backfield. The addition of Johnson could help take some pressure off the aging Chubb, who has been carrying the load for a while now. With his versatility as both a rusher and a receiver, Johnson would be a great fit for Kevin Stefanski's offense, which thrives on mixing things up and keeping defenses on their toes. But that's not all we're talking about today. With the NFL playoffs in full swing, there are also other free agents from playoff teams that the Browns should keep an eye on. Free agency is still a couple of months away, but it's never too early to start thinking about potential targets. One player to keep an eye on is Sam Darnold from the Minnesota Vikings. If Darnold becomes a free agent after this season, the Browns could look at him as a potential backup or even as a competitor for the starting quarterback role, especially if Watson's future in Cleveland becomes uncertain. Darnold has shown some promise under the guidance of Kevin O'Connell and could be a good fit for Stefanski's system. On the offensive line, Cleveland might also be interested in players like Cam Robinson, a left tackle from the Jacksonville Jaguars, or Alaric Jackson, a solid left tackle from the Los Angeles Rams. The Browns need to keep building that offensive line, and these two could be potential upgrades. But what about defense? The Browns need depth in their secondary, especially next to Grant Delpit at safety. Cameron Bynum from the Vikings has been a steady starter for the past 3 seasons and could be a solid addition. He might be a bit of a stretch to overpay for, but with the uncertainty around other defensive positions, adding a player like Bynum could provide much-needed stability. And let's not forget about the Rams. Demarcus Robinson, a wide receiver who set career highs in yards and touchdowns this season, could bring more depth to the receiving core, which has struggled with consistency. And linebacker Christian Rozeboom, who played 75% of the Rams' defensive snaps this year, could provide the Browns with much-needed depth at linebacker, especially considering the injuries to key players like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. So, Browns fans, as we continue to look toward the offseason, these are some of the key free agents to watch. The Browns have a lot of work to do, but there are definitely pieces out there that can help improve the team in multiple areas. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Browns should go after Ty Johnson to bolster the rushing attack, or should they focus on another position? And what about those other free agents? Who would you love to see the Browns target? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. As we approach the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns' search for a future quarterback is becoming one of the biggest talking points surrounding the team. With Deshaun Watson's situation still up in the air and the Browns' future quarterback in question, many are wondering if Cleveland could use its second overall pick to land a new face of the franchise. However, if General Manager Andrew Berry decides to take a different approach, he could find value in later rounds, and one intriguing prospect is Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart. So why is Dart a name that should be on your radar? Let's take a closer look at how this former SEC QB could fit into Kevin Stefanski's offense. Dart began his college career at USC, but made a name for himself after transferring to Ole Mississippi. Under head coach Lane Kiffin, Dart thrived in a system built around RPOs, run-pass option, with an emphasis on downfield throws. In his final season, Dart finished with an impressive 4,279 passing yards, ranking third in the FBS in passing yards. His ability to push the ball downfield and his overall arm strength make him an intriguing fit for Cleveland's offense. Now, let's look at how Dart could fit into Stefanski's system. The Browns' offense is built around play action, bootlegs, and a deep passing game, and Dart's skill set aligns with that. Just think of former Browns quarterback Joe Flacco, who found success due to his ability to push the ball downfield, something Dart can do well. Dart's arm strength and ability to make deep throws would mesh well with Stefanski's play-action-heavy approach. Additionally, Dart demonstrated solid ball placement throughout his college career, something that is crucial for a quarterback to succeed in Cleveland. So where does that leave the Browns? If Andrew Berry is uncomfortable with drafting a quarterback early in the draft, Dart could be a solid option on day 2 or 3 of the draft. With his experience in a high-powered offense, Dart could be a potential project for the Browns with the right development over time. However, the Browns will need to bring in a veteran quarterback to start in 2025. Having an experienced veteran at the helm would give Dart time and space to develop and get used to the speed of the NFL game without being thrown into the fire right away. The bottom line here is that while Jackson Dart has a lot of potential, he's not a plug-and-play guy. He would need time to adjust to the NFL, but with the right development, he could be a solid long-term option for the Browns. Now, I want to hear from you, Browns fans. What do you think about Jackson Dart potentially joining the Cleveland Browns? Do you think he's worth a shot in the later rounds, or would you rather see the Browns go after a different quarterback? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and make sure you're subscribed to stay up to date with all the latest Cleveland Browns news. Go, Browns!